The conference is held under the theme Post-Crisis Lessons and Policy Challenges, just as economies around the world were emerging from the disruptions of the COVID pandemic. The war in Ukraine broke, derailing economic recovery and pushing up inflation. Central banks around the world responded by raising interest rates. Delegates said that this has been effective in curbing inflation, but it remains high, meaning interest rates will likely remain at high levels for some time. Reserve Bank Governor Lesetja Kganyago says global disinflation is underway, but inflation remains elevated.
Global growth has once again slipped below longer run averages. Global disinflation is underway, yet targeted inflation remains uncomfortably high, and underlying inflation is starting to look sticky above many central bank targets. Moreover, debt levels have been substantially posing risks to macroeconomic stability in many economies.
Speakers agree that the current levels of interest rates are restrictive enough to lower inflation, but say it is too soon to think about lowering rates.
Now that policy is in restrictive territory, there is the possibility of doing too much and inflicting unnecessary damage on employment and growth. But at least in my personal view, at present, the emphasis is still on ensuring that we are, in the words of the MPC's last statement, sufficiently restrictive for sufficiently long to ensure that we have that lasting return to target.
Others say upside risks to inflation remain, but the downward momentum of inflation will likely continue.
Inflation in the United States is still too high. Now, there has been significant progress in the battle, and inflation is well off of the very elevated levels that we saw in the last year. But it's essential that inflation be brought all the way back to our target.
The high interest rate environment has brought difficulties to some businesses and households, with many unable to make mortgage repayments or to take on more debt. This has also had a negative effect on the job market, with some countries reporting increases in job losses. Gloria Sefako Musi, SABC News, Cape Town.